You're now listening to the Wandering Buffalo podcast with your hosts, Andrew Chang and Justin Godwin.
Welcome in, Bils Mafia, to another episode of the Wandering Buffalo podcast, a show here on the Buffalo FAMBase network. I'm your host, Andrew Chang, and it's just going to be me today. Justin has been covering for me for weeks now, giving me a really nice, long, extended summer vacation. So shout out to Justin. He can't be here today because he's got to attend his own wedding shower, and I think that's pretty reasonable. So we'll catch him next week. And he'll probably be gone for a little longer after that because, he's got to get married and do that honeymoon thing. So he's adulting, unlike me. So shout out to Justin. Thank you again. Before we get into today's episode, which will revolve around the training camp tickets, sailing flop, and just the schedule in general, I do want to take a minute here and welcome in a new episode to the Buffalo FAMBase network. And it's with our own running back, Zach Moss. Moss Mode Podcast and friends will now be on the Buffalo FAMBase network. Definitely check him out. Zach Moss, really, really cool dude. If you haven't heard the episode with Justice and Mookie, it's a really nice episode, so check them out. They have really good, back and forth conversation, so check them out. Like I said, really good stuff. And you can find them by searching up the Buffalo FAMBase network, as well as all the other amazing content that we have. Okay? But lastly, before we get into today's episode, like, comment, subscribe, review our podcast, tell a friend of a friend about us. If you can do that, that's fantastic. And if you can't, hey, no big deal. Today's episode, as I mentioned, will be about the training camp tickets fail. Okay? And it's not going to be a long episode because it is what it is. If you know where I'm going with this. The ticket sales did not really happen. If you were fortunate enough to get them, good on you. Really, you defy the odds. It's just like if you got a PlayStation 5 when they first came out, good on you. You got an Xbox right when it came out, good on you. Or if you got a pair of new Jordans on the sneakers app, I don't know how you did it, but good on you. This is basically the same way, at least for me. Okay, so I don't know if you were like me and woke up early on Thursday the 14th here and got in line early, and I'm using air quotes here because you had to go through the app to get these tickets, right? You got in line, you got to the end, you went to buy them, and then you basically got kicked to the end of the line, or the website crashed, or some other stuff, right? Does that sound familiar? Does it? Because that's what basically happened to me, and I'm not happy about it. Seriously. It's just I've been looking forward to this for so long. It's been really, really long since that divisional game, and I'm just so ready for any types of Bills action. And the fact that my closest thing to Bills action since that divisional game was the website basically saying, hey, we crashed, but I'll tell you what, we'll put you at the back of the end of the line, isn't what I was expecting. So it is what it is. And I have a couple of theories as to why the ticket sales went so poorly. Number one, I honestly think that there wasn't a cap to how many people or how many tickets someone could really reserve. And that sucks, right? It sounds like people could just get however many tickets they want, or maybe just an unnecessary amount of tickets. So maybe they should have introduced a limit saying hey, you can only rent 4 tickets for you, maybe your significant other, or your brother or sister, or something like that. 4 tickets a person. I feel like that's pretty reasonable. But I don't know if there was a limit because, again, I didn't make it to the end. So if there was a limit and I'm just, completely wrong, let me know. But, again, I don't know. But it sounds like people were just copying tickets left and right. And just like the sneakers app, the Xbox or PlayStation or any sought-out good where you have to get in line online about it, there's going to be scalpers. And I don't think I don't want to say that there's scalpers here that just got a bunch of tickets, but realistically, there's probably going to be someone trying to sell tickets on Facebook Marketplace or what other avenue, just saying like, hey, you want tickets to the Bills training camp in St. John Fisher? I got you. $10 a ticket. Which kind of, again, sucks because these are free tickets. And at the end of the day, would I pay $10 to go see the Bills training camp? Yeah, I would, but it shouldn't have been like that. It's just kind of a crappy environment in terms of like you got something for free and you're just selling it. But I also get it. If you have, yeah, I'm not going to get into it. You understand what I'm saying. Hopefully. Number 2, website crashes. It happened to me, happened to a bunch of people. But why did the website crash? Well, before, in previous years, you didn't need to have tickets to go to training camp. Or they sold them at different like vendors or local organizations. And this wasn't a problem. The Bills, the organizations themselves, decided to create this bottleneck of, consumers. They said like, hey, if you want to go to training camp, from now on, we're going to introduce this new thing. Tickets for each session, each day. You need a ticket to get in, okay? We never done that before, but we're doing that now because of the, rise of popularity of this team and to limit crowds of hordes of people. I get it, but as a result, when, people were trying to buy these tickets, the website crashed. And you want to know why? It's because the team literally said, everyone use our website. But when they were trying to do that, the website couldn't handle the sheer volume of people trying to get these tickets. So much so that the website just kept crashing. And that just sounded like a common theme between everyone on Twitter. And like I said, if you were one of the lucky ones to get through and get your tickets, good on you. You defied the odds. But for me, I was not fortunate. I got to the end of the line, tried getting my transaction completed, and I got booted to the end. Some people didn't even make it to the transaction. Some people, like I said, some people got to the transaction, got the failed transaction, got booted at the end. Some people were simply stuck in line and didn't even move at all. Just period at all. So, could you imagine that if you were just trying to buy something, you were at checkout at a Walmart, and then there's this huge line of people in front of you, and next thing you know, they just go like, "Oh, by the way, the store's closed." Like the people behind you had already checked out, but you see them. That's basically kind of what happened to those people. It just kind of sucks, and I feel for those guys or folks in general. The ticket sales, man. I got to tell you, ticket sales, training camp hasn't been at St. John Fisher's in 3 years, I think, and you only used to need tickets for night games. So, again, this is like an environment that the Bills created. You didn't need tickets before, but now they said you need tickets. You only needed tickets in the past for night games. And this year, and I'm going into the schedule now, there's only one night game. And that's like on August 5th for the red and blue scrimmage. So it's a night practice. I'm sorry, I said games, but practice. You get it. Other than that, every practice except for one starts at 9:45. The only practice that doesn't start at 9:45 is 2 days after that scrimmage at Highmark Stadium, which will be at August 7th at 11:45 a.m. So it just kind of like, if everything is the same, why do we need tickets? And I know what they said, like, to limit crowd space, and we want to be cautious and don't want too many people there. I get it, but it's still just I'm still just frustrated, right? You're frustrated. I'm frustrated. It should have been better than this. It really should have. I don't know if you have had a different experience than me, or if you went smooth sailing, but a couple people from a couple people that I know were really, really upset. Like, some people were saying it's clear that the Buffalo Bills don't care about their Rochesterian fan base, and I think that's a little over the top. Okay, let's scale back here, because we're upset, but like, I don't think it's really the Bills saying like we don't care about the Rochester fan base because the website crashed. Like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? As much as it is to blame for the Bills, like, just I think we should cut them a little slack, right? It's a lot what they were trying to do. They were trying to basically make it a little more organized, but it definitely backfired. And I'm not trying to like completely, say like, hey, let's forgive them and whatnot. It should have been better, but I don't think that their intentions were in the wrong places. The execution was just really, really poor. And I think that's the difference here. Okay? So, it is what it is, and, the organization is still kind of going through, I guess, kind of a weird area, because, mind you, the whole health of Kim Bakula is still up in the air. We don't know what's going on, so maybe they're a little distracted by that, but they also do have other people that should have focused on this specific portion, and other organizations should have focused, or other parts of the organization should have focused on that side. It just really comes back to me saying this should have been better. So comment below if you had a different experience, if you had a better experience, a worse experience, or just something that you just want to get off your chest about this whole thing, or what you think is going to happen. And I'll tell you right now, I think personally tickets are going to go on sale again. I think they just wanted to put out some, and they said all the tickets are sold out, but I think that they're going to sell some more, or you can definitely get some through scalpers or Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, or a friend of a friend. And maybe that will come at a charge, maybe it won't. Hopefully you'll be one of the lucky ones, and if it does go on resale again through the Bills app or, BuffaloBills.com, hopefully this time it'll be more organized. So that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. I know it's really short. Don't really have a whole lot to talk about except voicing my frustrations and annoyance with this whole process, but I'm just hopeful that we'll all be able to get into training camp. And if we can't, hey, at least we're one step closer. We can watch that. Sometimes they televise training camp stuff, and we'll definitely hear from the players, coaches, and other fans in general. So I'm really excited about that. Like I said, if you haven't had the chance, please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and review our podcast, as well as other amazing podcasts that we have on the Buffalo FAMBase Network. We'd really appreciate it. And hey, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you have a really good weekend, or great start to this week. But hey, Bills training camp starts July 24th. We are right around the corner. Okay, Bills Mafia, less than a week away. All right, well, take care, and as always, go Bills.